Hidely ho there, neighbours. Hope you're well. Hope the world is treating you well and all that. This is a quick little update. Finished another week of doing Geek Words. I've been enjoying doing them. They're going up on Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, the weekdays. Yeah, it's fun. I have a process. I basically do a search for words beginning with the letter of that day. I've been doing them in alphabetical order, and then I look for words that are unusual and rare, but I've seen used, because I kind of want to make sure that I, understand the context before I start putting it out there. Yes, I can read the definition, but it's nice to be able to actually, pick a word that I've seen used or used myself. So there's part of my process. But I check a few definitions, check for a few different pronunciations to make sure I'm saying it right, and then move on. So Monday will be an N word, and won't be the N word that immediately pops to mind when somebody says the N word, because I don't like that word. Just gonna say it. Anyways, beyond that, I've been trying to get my head straight. I've been having some success with the weight loss. Been trying to get my mood sort of leveled and less erratic. I suffer from clinical depression, and sometimes it's difficult to sort of pull out of that. But I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. I picked up Pillars of Eternity. I contributed to their Kickstarter way back when, and so I got my copy and I started playing that. And I will probably do a Let's Play, because it's very much in the same vein as like Shadowrun Returns and what have you. It's very much in the vein of a tabletop game. I could easily see somebody just sort of lifting the rules out of the game and just publishing it as an OSR, really, as an old school revival D&D clone, because it would work for that. So that's I expect that I'll probably do something with that. And I've also been reading a lot. I read some Fritz Leiber, which I've been meaning to get around to reading for a while. Fritz Leiber in particular is considered his Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser series definitely considered a serious influence on Dungeons and Dragons. And when you read Swords and Deviltry, you can definitely see it. There's a lot there that you could see D&D sort of picked up from and ran with. I was fascinated with it. Some of the stuff very dated and maybe not so great in, say, today's fiction. We probably would treat gender roles differently. That said, it's still a good book. It's well written. The characters are interesting, and maybe not what you expect, honestly. But definitely influenced the whole idea of thieves' guilds in fantasy fiction. The author coined the term sword and sorcery, so kind of a must read if you want to understand the genre somewhat. I've been reading some of the old Star Trek novels. There are a couple of them written by the guy who wrote The Forever War. And I ordered them from Abe Books after Leonard Nimoy died, as they were suggested as some solid, some actually fairly decent Star Trek books that were, out there in the wild that were worth reading. And I have to generally agree, they're not the best sci-fi I've ever read, but they're decent. They're pretty good. The first one that I got was Planet of Judgment, which is kind of a weird one, but it's all right. I liked it, and I'm currently working on World Without End, which is actually, in my opinion, actually more interesting. I've been enjoying them, and I would recommend them if you happen to come across them as things to pick up and give a read. Anyway, I'm gonna let that be the last word on my late night ramble tonight, and I will talk to you some more later. Have fun.